especially with Doncic and Porzingis.
Yeah, I mean, I think they look pretty good when we play them too.
Yeah.
Again, they're a good team. I feel like they know themselves, they know their identity. Kind of go through Luka and KP, so to be able to stop them is going to take a team effort. Great role players and De'Aaron Wright and all those guys. So yeah, it's going to take a team effort to try to stop the big two up front and then try to contain the other guys from not scoring.
What makes Luka so good?
He has everything. There's nothing he can't do.
Thanks, Drew. Great. Thank you, Drew.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is it first? Tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, they play.
Sure, why not?
Is there anything, as you've gone, had a day to digest on this, that over this stretch of struggling in these close games, anything, is there a through line between this at all?
Well, I think the constant are, what we've done consistently is that, we have not executed down the stretch. We've almost like taken the easy way out rather than drive it to the basket, try to create situations. And then we hadn't come up with stops. We've had miscommunication, some defensively, or we hadn't closed out in a big situation. And like I said, in close games, that can be the difference in the game.
Is it a law of averages thing where the more close games you play, eventually you'll win your share? Or is this a thing where, if you're bad in close games, you're just going to lose a lot?
I think it's a little bit of both, and I think you can get better at it. I mean, obviously, you have to take those mistakes and not duplicate them. But I also think you not only cannot duplicate them, but you got to learn from them. We've got to try to attack their weaknesses, and if we do that, we've got to make sure that at best we're getting to the foul line. We have not done a good job of getting to the foul line. I think teams have shot almost 100 more free throws than we have, and some of that, we can say, you can blame it on the officiating all you want to, but at the end of the day, you got to put yourself in a position so that the officials are forced to call fouls. And I don't know if we do that enough from the standpoint of demanding that fouls are called. And so that's more on us than anything. We've got to find a way to get to the line, and we got to find a way to get ourselves in the bonus.
And Drew talked about how you guys are stressed up, wanting to play with that same pace at the end of games as you do during the beginning of games. Is that a matter of just lineups, or is it more execution?
No. It's just a matter of doing it. I mean, we don't want to. With 3:56 to go, we shouldn't be walking the ball up the court ever, and we shouldn't be ever in isolation situations, unless there's 5 seconds to go in the game and we want to throw it to someone and have them go get a shot for us. We should not be in those situations. And what has happened is that, we've slowed down the pace, tremendously in the fourth quarter. And that's why our fourth quarter scoring is really down also, is because we become too cautious, I think. We've got to get back to playing in an open court with spacing, until there's, 30 seconds, 40 seconds to go in the game. And then we'll think about, end of game plays that we specifically run for certain guys.
Coach, is there even a greater premium on running that type of offense since you don't have a James Harden, you don't have somebody that gets to the line usually?
Exactly, and that's why we have to do it. We were a great half-court team, then we would play half-court basketball. We had these guys, isolation guys that could go get us basket. We play just like Houston played, but we don't have that. And so the biggest asset we have is our length and our speed, and the fact that we have, several guys that can facilitate. But if we're not taking advantage of that, then we're not doing the right thing. So we've got to get back to the pace of the game being the same in the fourth quarter as it is in the first quarter.
Today is 6 weeks since Zion's had surgery. Just how is he progressing?
I think he's fine. I don't think there's anything that can be rushed. I just think it's a time thing, and 6 weeks is what was said. But I mean, obviously, he's making progress, and when the time comes for him to start on court and do things like that, he will. But it's not anything that's going to be rushed or any shortcut. It's just a matter of taking the time to make sure that he's fine.
So it's just mental reps right now still? He hasn't gotten on the court and done anything yet?
Yeah, he's fine. Obviously he's itching at the bit to be on the court and be able to do basketball things and things like that. But, in these situations also, sometimes you have to protect players from themselves. And, we're not going to put him back out there. Obviously, we're going to be overly cautious about it and make sure that he's, 100% before we do that.
Do you have a goal in mind when you would like him to start doing on-court stuff?
Yeah, October 18th.
We missed that one.
Yeah.
Barely missed it.
Yeah, we just that's when that would be the great date. Okay. No, we don't have a specific date in mind. That's like I said, it's something that everyone's going to be overly cautious about. Me as a coach, Griff as a administrator, and the whole medical team. So when that time comes, we'll put him out there. Until then, there's no chance that we would ever take a risk of just throwing him out there.
Mavericks are playing really well now. You've played them already, but they're Doncic and Porzingis are starting to hit their stride. You beat the Lakers. Can you talk about the difficulties those two guys present?
Well, I think both of them. I mean, especially Doncic. If you look at what he's averaging, over 30 points and almost 9 assists and close to 8 or 9 rebounds. So to me, he's having what would be an MVP type year when you consider where they were projected and where they are right now. And unless an injury happened, I don't see them slowing down very much. Doncic is just a really, really difficult matchup because of his size, because of his speed. I think everybody looks at his size and doesn't realize how quick he is with the ball and where he can get it to. And then when you think about the shooting and what he's done over the course of the last 10, 12 games where, he's had 40-point triple-doubles and, and just dominated games. It's tough, and I think Porzingis is now kind of coming into his own. And, they just have other guys that they've not talked about a lot, but you take a guy like Finney Smith, and I think he's been great for the role that he's played for them and what he's done, and their benches play well. So, where they project them and where they are now, I think they've proven that they're going to be a solid team for the rest of the season unless some kind of injury comes about.
Have they progressed and gotten away from the whole Dirk Nowitzki thing pretty successfully, would you say, at this point?
Oh, I think so, but I think, Dirk is still a part of that franchise, will always be a part of that franchise. But, I think if you're saying that, are there any? Yeah, no, it's been a great transition. I think both those guys have played the type of basketball that I think is more than fan friendly. I think it's exciting type basketball, and then Doncic being a 20-year-old and doing what he's doing now has been amazing. But I try to tell everyone he's done that since he was 15 years old. This is not anything new to him. He's played at the highest level and was MVP of the European, championships 2 years ago. So this is not anything that's new to him.
Did you have an update regarding Kendrick Williams, how he's progressing back from his?
Yeah, he's fine. I mean, if it would have been left up to him, he'd have tried to play last night. But once again, like I said, with the sprain that he had, we weren't going to do that. But he is a really tough guy, and the minute he gets the okay from the doctors, he'll be right back out there.
Any chance at all he goes tomorrow night?
I think there's a chance. I think it'll be tough. I mean, we got obviously the rest of the day, and he'll get treatment, and then all day tomorrow. So we'll see how it is from there.
Now that Lonzo's off of the minutes restriction, you went back to him in the starting lineup. Is that the look you want to continue going with him and Drew in that backcourt together?
Possibility. I think some of that is going to be dictated by the opponent that we played and things like that. But I like him in there. I thought he played well last night. I thought he did a good job for a guy that set out for a while, and he's trying to get all of his timing and everything back. But I love I thought the pace of the game. I thought the way he played last night and the pace that he pushed it is where we need to be, and we need to be that way for 4 quarters, like I said. All right, guys.
So I guess for you, after viewing the film, is there something that you feel like has been a consistent problem with you guys in those late game situations that keeps popping up?
Yeah, probably shot quality. That would be the biggest thing. I think that was the big emphasis today, just the shot quality down the stretch.
For you guys, late in close games, it's mostly Drew, mostly Bi. Bi is only 22 years old. Is there anything you tell a young guy who's shouldering so much of that load, late in close games? Any advice you got for him?
Yeah, I'd probably tell Bi myself, right? I don't air things to the media. All right. It's like the 4th time you guys have asked me one of those questions. I'm just going to tell you, don't ask me those questions because that's not how I operate, okay? All right.
Is there a law of averages in these close games that if you play enough of them, you will win a share of them? Or is it when you're not a good team, you just lose a bunch of
Well, I don't think it's that we're a bad team. I do think there's a maturity and a sort of a corporate knowledge, if you will, of like figuring out how to close games out. And that comes both with experience as a player and experience as a team. And it's no secret we need to be better closing games. And I think, we have the personnel to do it. We just have to be better.
Did you ever recall going through anything like this on any of your previous teams where you guys just couldn't close out games? And what did you do to, overcome that hump?
We had a very similar experience my first year in Philly, actually. I had a lot of games, even 10, 15-point leads in the second half where we ended up losing games early in the season. That team won 52 games. We were 14 and 18 at Christmas. So we got off to a slower start. Schedule evened out for us, which hopefully, come March, how it looks, the schedule will even out a little bit for us. But again, I have been through it before. That's why I'm not panicking or anything. We'll figure it out and we'll be better.
You guys are playing the Mavericks, and you're also going to be playing them on European TV, primetime TV. Can you talk about how the Mavericks have hit their stride at this point?
They're playing great basketball. Obviously, Doncic is playing at an MVP level. I think their supporting cast has been really good. Tim Hardaway has been shooting flames the last few weeks. He's been really good. A lot of their guys, even some of the guys that come off the bench, Seth Curry and DeLon Wright, Maxi Kleber, really good NBA players. They're a deep team. They play good basketball. Rick's a great coach. They're a formidable squad for sure.
How do you stop a guy like, if you can, a guy like Doncic?
He's averaging whatever he's averaging. You're not going to stop him. You hope to make it an inefficient night. Maybe that would be your best guess. But hopefully, the other guys don't kill you. And he's a good enough scorer and a good enough passer that he's going to make a lot of plays for himself and for others. But you just try to make it an inefficient night for him.
Alvin mentioned that the ISO ball starts kind of creeping in 3-4 minutes left in some of these games. How do you guard against that? Is that a natural part of basketball when games get tight, defenses get tighter, possessions get longer, or is that just something you guys have to guard against?
I think some of it maybe is just the nature of how we play, to be honest with you. There's not a lot of set calls, and even down the stretch, not a ton of set calls, and so I think sometimes that lends itself to just you've been moving all game, and all of a sudden the game it just inevitably sort of screeches to a halt the last few minutes. To combat that, you either got to keep playing fast, or we got to get into some sort of action. And again, that's on us. We got to be better.
Talk about how the Mavericks have transitioned pretty well from going from Dirk to these Porzingis and Doncic, and how it's been a smooth transition for them.
Has it though? Okay, they're great this year. It's been a couple years since they've been in the playoffs, hasn't it? I'm not trying to knock. They're a great organization, but it's not like they were. It's not. You know what I mean?
So they've gone from one star to a couple of stars and just transitioned like this.
Yeah. I think Donnie and Mark and their front office, they do a great job. Scouting. Obviously, they sort of zeroed in on Doncic. If you read the article from earlier this year, they really zeroed in on him very early on in the process, pre-draft. That was sort of their guy. They targeted Porzingis in the trade. They took Dirk kind of when he was sort of an unknown. So they've done a great job in picking those guys and trading for those guys. They're a model organization in terms of stability from top to bottom, for sure.
Thanks, JJ.
Thanks, JJ.